Welcome back to the computer science classes Dbms Database Management System. The topic is overview of Plsql, control statements, conditional statements, and iterative statements. Comes under chapter 7 Plsql, session 44. Okay, fine. Plsql control statements. So what is meant by Plsql control statements? Plsql control statements shows the flow of data. The flow of data, how the data will be flow from one place to the another place. The Plsql control statements shows the flow of data from one place to another place. There are three types of control structures supported by Plsql. There are one is called sequential control statements, conditional or selection control statements, and third one, looping statement, is nothing but iterative statements. So finally, in control statement we have three. One is called sequential, conditional, and looping. First, we know some information related to conditional statement in Plsql. Conditional statements in Plsql. Okay, so what is meant by conditional statements in a Plsql? So it's also called as selection statements. Conditional statements are also called as selection or decision statement because all the statements or the condition is depend on some appropriate decision. So here all the statements or condition is depend on some appropriate decision. Okay, fine. It is depend on some appropriate decision. So first one, if then statement. If then statement is there, if else statement is there, else if statement is there, case statements are there. First one, if then statement. It is the simplest form of if control statement. This is the simplest form of if control statement, frequently used in decision making. Why you are using this statement? Frequently used in decision making and changing the control flow of the program execution. So this is the if then statement in Plsql. So if statement associate a condition with a sequence of statements enclosed by the keyword then and end if. Then and end if you can use here. So if the condition is true, the statements are get executed. If the condition is true, the statements are executed. And if the condition is false or null, the if statement does nothing. Okay, this is a common fact. So okay, so here I'm taking one syntax for here. If condition then statements end if means. Okay, this is a syntax. Okay, next I'll take one example here. If a less than 20, then c is equal to c plus 1. A less than 20 means a is equal to 30. Here the condition is true. 30 less than 20, if the condition is true. If the condition is true, the statement get executed. Then c is equal to c. 40 plus 1, 41. That's all. The condition will be get executed. The statements are executed. Suppose a is equal to 10. 10 less than is equal to 20. 30 less than is equal to 30 less than is equal to 20. 30 less than is equal to 20. So the condition is what? So I will take 30 less than is equal to 20. The condition is false. Condition is false. Then control goes out of the structure. End if. Suppose I will take one 10. Example 10. 10 less than is equal to 10. Yes, its condition is true. Then number of statements are executed. So like if the statement of the condition is true, the statements get executed. And if the condition become false or null, then the statement does nothing. That will not complete anything here. So this is called as if then statement. Second one, if then else statement. What is meant by if then else statement? So A sequence of if-then statements can be followed by optional sequence of else. So, what is meant by if-then statements? If-then statement means what? A sequence of if-then statements can be followed by optional sequence of else statements which execute when the condition is false. A sequence of if-then statement can be followed by an optional sequence of else statement which execute when the condition is become false. Syntax for the if-then else statement: if condition then statement 1, else statement 2, end if. So here, if S1 and S2 are different sequence of statement, both are different sequence of statements. In the if-then statements, when the test condition is true, the statement 1 is executed and statement 2 is skipped. Only for statement 1 is executed. When the test condition falls, then S1 is bypassed and statement 2 executed. You see, if test condition is true, statement 1 is executed. If the test condition is false, statement 2 is executed. Then finally, will come host of the structure. You see, I will take one example here. If color red, then Dbms output, you have chosen a red car. Else, Dbms output line, please choose a car for your car, color for your car, end if. That's all. Here, car is red is nothing but statement 1. Please choose a color for your car is nothing but statement 2. That is called as if then else statement. Next, third one, if then else if statement. Third one, if then else if statement. So here, if then else if statement allows you to choose between several alternatives. It has so many different alternatives, you choose only one. And if then statement can be followed by an optional else if else statement. Optional else if and else if statement. Okay, fine. The syntax for if else statement is and if then statement. Okay, if Boolean expression 1, then S1 executes when the Boolean expression 1 is true. If the condition is true, expression 1 is executed. Else if Boolean expression 2, then S2 executable when the Boolean expression 2 is true. Else if Boolean expression 3, then executes when the Boolean expression 3 is true. S4 executes when the one of the above condition is true. So like we have three expression. So three statement. One if is called expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. Finally we can display condition false. Okay, if the expression 1 is true, then expression 1 is executed. Expression 2 is true, statement 2 is executed. The expression 3 is true, statement 3 is executed. If the both if the above expression 1, expression 2, expression 3 these are false, then none of the above condition is and. Okay, so this is called as if then else statement. Case statement. So what is meant by case statement here? So you take one example here. I will take one example program is there for if else then statement. The if then else if statement. So declare a number of 300. Begin. If a is equal to 10, then output value of a is 10. Expression 1. If a is equal to 20, expression 2, value of a is equal to 20. Expression 3, 30, value of a is equal to 30. So these three above conditions are false. None of the values are matching. That's all. None of the values are matching. That is called as if then else if statement. Next, case statement. What is meant by case statement? Like the if statement, the case statement selects one sequence of statements to execute. Case statements the case statement selects only one sequence of statements to execute. However, to select the sequence, the case statement uses a selector rather than multiple Boolean expressions. A selector is an expression whose value is used to select one of several alternatives. The syntax for case statement. What is the syntax for case statement? You take here case selector. When value 1, then statement 1. Value 2, then statement 2. Then value 3, then statement 3. Else Statement 10, default case, end case. So this is called syntax of case statement. So one example is there. Declare grade character 1. Character is nothing but A. Character is nothing but A. So begin case grade. When A, excellent. We will take only one grade, number of grades we will take only one grade. A is excellent. B is very good. C is well done. C is well done. D is, then the Dbms output line you paused. Excellent, very good, well done, D is paused. Yeah, then Dbms output line better try again. We just pause, better try again. So yes, Dbms output line no such grade. It's nothing but fail. It is default statement. Default statement. For example, in case statement, you're taking number of days in a week. Case 1 Sunday, case 2 Monday, case 3 Tuesday, case 4 Wednesday, case 5, case 7 Saturday. I will take choice 1 Sunday, choice 2 Monday, choice 3 Tuesday, choice 7 Saturday, choice 8 invalid day number. This is called as case statement. Next, nested if then else. What is meant by nested? A statement within another statement means a if within another if. A if statement within another if statement is called nested if statement. So here nested if then else means what? It is always legal in Plsql programming to nest if else statements, which means you can use one if or else if statement inside another if or else if statements. If or another else if statements. Okay. Syntax is there. You see syntax, if boolean expression 1 then executes when the boolean expression 1 is true, if execute if true. So executes true. Okay, fine. Next, if boolean expression 2 then executes when the boolean expression 2 is true. A sequence of statements will be executed. So you see boolean expression 1 is true, expression 1 is nothing but statement 1 is executed. If boolean expression 2 is true, when the boolean expression 2 is sequence of statements are executed. And if else, execute when the boolean expression 1 is not true, else statement. Boolean expression 1 is not true, it's nothing but false. And if you close the program. If example end, declare A is a value number 100, B number 3 is equal to value 200. Begin. A is equal to 100, B is equal to 200. Check the boolean condition. If A is equal to 100, then if condition is true, then checking the following. If B is equal to 200, then if condition is true, then the print the following Dbms output line. Value of A is 100 and B is 200. That's all. That will be display. A is equal to 100, B is equal to 200. This is the best example. So and if suppose if you want to display the exact value of A and B, so Dbms output exact value of A is equal to 100, exact value of B is equal to 200. We can close the program. So that is called as nested if then else statement. Okay. Next, looping control statements. What is meant by looping control statement? What is meant by looping? Looping is also called as iteration. Iteration. A statement is repeated again and again until the condition is true. That is called as looping. A statement is executed again and again until the condition is true. That is called as looping or iteration. Correct? Fine. Basic loop structure encloses a sequence of statements. Enclose a sequence of statements in between the loop and end loop. In between loop and end loop. That is starting from in looping statement, that is starting from loop and ends with end loop. That is starting from loop and ends with end loop statements. With each iteration is nothing but looping. The sequence of statements is executed and then the control resumes at the top of the loop. The control always resumes at the top of the loop. The best syntax for basic loop in Plsql programming language is you see loop, sequence of statements are there, end loop. Loop is start, sequence of statements or declaration statement, end loop. Here sequence of statements may be single statement or block of statement. Not only one statement, It's a block of statements or single statement, it's okay. An exit statement or exit when statement is required to break the loop. If you want to break the loop, if you want to terminate the loop, then we can use exit statement. It's nothing but exit when statement is you required to break the loop. For example, we take one a simple example here. You see, declare x number is equal to 10, begin while Dbms output line print x is nothing but 10. X is equal to x plus 10, 10 plus 10, 20. If x greater than 50, then exit, end of if, end of loop. After exit, control resumes Dbms output line. After exit, x is 10. So this is the output, this is the best example. So next, following result 20, 30, 40, 50 up to 50. Okay, 10. So that outputs will be print 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. After exit, x is equal to 60. Plsql while loop. The one is called Plsql while loop. While loop is also called as pre-tested looping statement. Pre-tested looping statement because this statement in a Plsql programming language repeatedly execute a target statement as long as given condition is true. We say target statement as well as condition is true. Syntax while condition loop, sequence of statements and loop. This is the syntax of while loop. While condition loop, sequence of statements and loop. So I'll take one example here. Declare a number is equal to 2 is equal to 10, 10 is assigned for a, begin while a less than 20, a is nothing but 10, 20, 10, 20. As condition is true, then value of a is equal to 10. Because the 10 less than 20, value will be printed a. So a is equal to a plus 1. A is equal to a plus 1 means a is equal to a plus 1. 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. End of loop. When the above code is executed at SQL prompt, it produces the following result: value of a is equal to 10. Next, 10 plus 1, 11. 11 plus 1, 12. 12 plus 1, 13. 13 plus 1, 14. Up to 19. Because we are taking 20, a less than 20. 19 less than 20, condition true. Then incremented 20 less than 20, the condition becomes false. Then control comes out of the structure. So Plsql successfully inserted. So that is called as Plsql. And then Plsql for loop. So for loop is also called as fixed execution. Fixed execution. A for loop is a repetition control structure that allows to efficiently write a loop. It needs to execute specific number of times. Number of times will be executed because they always depend on specific number of times. Syntax for counter, in, initial value and final value for loop. Sequence of statements are executed and end loop. I will take one as example here. So you see the instance of is executed first and only once. Next, the condition initial value, final value is evaluated. After the body of the for loop execute, the value of the counter variable is increased. Okay, fine. The condition is now evaluated signature again. Okay, so that is called as for loop. So I will take one simple example for loop here. Declare a number 2. Declare a number of 2 is a number of 2 is something but data type. Begin for a in 10 dot 20. From starting from 10 to 20 loop. Dbms value of a. We will print a, end of loop, end. You see the value of a starting from you see output a 20, 11, 12, 13, 14 up to 20, the numbers will be displayed. You see 10 to 20, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These are the prints from number of times. How many times are there? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Totally 11 times the number of values are printed. PLSL program successfully completed. This is the output generation. That is called as for loop. Okay, so reverse for loop statement is there. By default, iteration proceeds from the initial value to the final value, generally upward from the lower bound to the higher bound. Because you can reverse this order by using reverse keyword. So if we are using reverse keyword, then that will be reverse order. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse 4, 3, 2, 1. So after each iteration, the loop counter is decremented. So declare number, begin, for, then in you just use the reverse word 10 to 20. 10 to 20, then automatically when you're using reverse for loop, so first for loop you're taking 10, 11, 12, 13, so reverse about 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14 like that. So nested loops are there in Plsql. So already got, you know, nested loops means a loop is in another loop. If you are using for loop, if you are using while loop, so many nested loops are there. So these are all the called nested loops, because a loop within another loop, that is called as nested loop. So when you're using a loop, automatically the statements will be executed. Exit statement. So what is the use of exit statement here? The exit statement in Plsql programming language is following two stages, two usages. So when the exit statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is immediately terminated and the program controller resumes at the next statement following the loop. If you are using nested loops, then the exit statement will stop the execution of the innermost and start executing the next line. So totally, finally when you are using exit statement in the loop, automatically that will be exits the program. The exit syntax, the exit for syntax is called exit semicolon, that's all. It has some flow diagram, each and every loop, each and every conditional statement has diagrams. Continue statement. The continue statement causes the loop to skip the remainder. Continue statement causes the loop to skip the remainder of its body and immediately retest its condition prior to reiterating. In other words, it forces the next iteration of the loop to take place, skipping any code in between. So what is the syntax of continue? You just write continue, you just type the continue word and terminated by semicolon. So you see, when you are using exit statement, when you are using continue statement, automatically exit statement will be exit the loop and continue statement is used to continue the loop. So you take care, for example, we are taking so many examples here. Go to statement in Plsql program language provides an unconditional jump from one place to the another place. So that is, you control transfer from one place to the another place. So syntax go to label, go to label, global semicolon, and so for taking number of labels and the number of statements, finally we can close all the program. That is called as block diagram. So in then another one is there, that is called as do while. In particular, we not refer in do while statement. So do while is also one of the iterative statement, is also called as post tested looping statement. So here that is used to check the number of conditions end of the loop. Do while we can check the conditions number of statements end of the loop, that is called as do while. Finally we have condition statement and selection statement and iterative statement. Condition statement is nothing but if else if statement, nested if statement, case statement. Looping statement is nothing but while statement, do while statement, for statement is there, reverse for is there, go to statement is there, exit statement is there, and then continue statement is there. So like we have so many different types of statements, so that way each and every one statements will perform the particular operation in the programming. Okay, so this is called as the particular statements which are included in your database management system. So that is called as the control statements. So control statements, so the overall control statements, and finally we can divide into sequential, conditional silencing statement and looping statement. So in next session we are discussing about sequential statements also. Okay, don't forget it that the control statements are all used to control the flow of instructions. So it has three types: sequential statement, conditional or selection control statement, and looping. So already know condition is nothing but selection statement. Looping is also called as iteration. What is meant by looping? The statement is repeated again and again until the condition is satisfied. That is called as looping statement. Okay, so this is the method of learning, and each and every control statement has the particular syntax, particular example, and each and every one has the example programs, because we can learn the example when you are learning, when you are understanding, when you are writing the particular syntax or programming, automatically very easy to understand the control statements very easily. So this is the control statements of Plsql. Okay. Okay, thank you. I will see you in next session.